created by Skeletor, designed to deceive He-Man, and somehow one of the coolest figures in the entire Revelation line. Today on MOTU Review, we're taking a deep dive into the Master Universe Revelations FAKER. And this figure might secretly be one of Mattel's best Revelation releases. We're talking packaging, sculpt, articulation, accessories, display options, shelf presence, and whether this robotic imposter deserves a spot in your collection. Because here, everything is forged in plastic, tested by power. Let's check it out.
If the paint's clean, I say it. If the joints are weak, I say it. If the sword looks weird in my hand, you know I'm gonna say it. MOTU real you.
First up, let's talk about packaging. The Revelation line packing has always looked premium, and FAKER is no exception. The black and blue color scheme gives this entire presentation a darker, more mature feel compared to the classic MOTU packaging. In the window screen, you can clearly see all the accessories through the large window display, including the alternate heads, the standard portrait, the shield, the extra hands, the sword, and the extra armor. And then, of course, right up top here, Mattel probably reminds us this has over 30 points of articulation. On the side, of course, showing off some more incredible artwork. Here you can see FAKER in his full robotic form and his more He-Man-esque form. And then onto the back, again, just some more amazing artwork with a cross-sell of all the figures available in this line. Battle Cat, Skelegod, He-Man, Mossman, Skeletor, and Evil Lyn, all of which I have already done review on. Up here it does say FAKER, Evil Robot of Skeletor. Of all the deadly minions at Skeletor's disposal, FAKER's mystery of deception and destruction makes him among the most dangerous. The cybernetic doppelganger of He-Man takes on the appearance of Eternia's most powerful protector, fooling many heroes, including the sorceress of Castle Grayskull herself. By the time the heroes discover FAKER's true nature, it may be too late. So there it is, FAKER with all the packaging. For this one, I really like the way it looks. So for the packaging, I'm going to give this thing a 9 out of 10. The only downside is the plastic window packaging can be a little bulky, especially if you have smaller shelves that you're going to store this on. But other than that, this thing looks great in box. I bet you it's going to look even better out of box. Let's take a look. And now this is FAKER. Sculpting on this figure is simply outstanding. So I know with a lot of the older FAKER figures, there was always the debate of how can people not know this is FAKER when his skin is blue? Well, for Revelations, they changed that. So you can see here, the majority of his body is that He-Man buck from the original release of Revelations, but the chest, the face, and the arms have this blue silver that's kind of showing through. So I really like this because if you remember in the Revelation series, when we first saw FAKER, he looked just like He-Man. And then him and the sorceress got in a little fight, and that's when we started seeing all this metallic underneath. So that's what I really like about this one. It's not just a blue figure. It is He-Man with a metallic skeleton. And then if you look here where the arms are kind of like stripped away his skin, it is actually metallic molded underneath the skin. And if you look right on the edge, there's like this red paint, which I guess they can kind of symbolize as like blood or something. Anyway, it looks really cool. I really like the way they designed this. And of course, you can see here on the face, in the package, you have the half He-Man, half robotic face, which is absolutely amazing. The rest of this figure is basically just the overall, the He-Man sculpt that they had before. Of course, you have his bracer on his left hand, the furry boots, the gold belt, the loincloth, and the harness. The harness looks really nice. Again, the exact same as the one that was there before. The paintwork on this is very, very strong. That's something I am really liking with this figure. The hair is very nice. In fact, I kind of almost prefer this hair over the one we got with the initial release of He-Man, but still, this one looks very, very nice. You have those nice red eyes. The chest harness is nicely done. Paint on this one is almost impeccable. I mean, there are no blotches. A little, maybe in my opinion, maybe a little too much dark wash in the hair. Well, than that, it looks very, very nice. For the sculpt and paint, I give this thing a 9 out of 10. Articulation on this figure is what you would come to expect in a Revelations Masterverse figure that has in the ball joint can look back, down, left, and right. Arms out, down, forward, back. You have swivel at the bicep, double joint at the elbow. That hand can swivel and hinge. You do have the torso crunch. You have the waist articulation. Legs can go out, down, forward, back. Swivel at the thigh. Double joints at the knees. You have a swivel at the boot cut, and of course that foot can rock forward and back as well as side to side. Very, very tight articulation, which I do like. I like it when the joints are nice and tight. That way you can get in some really good poses and not worry about it falling or sagging over time. So for articulation, 9 out of 10. So accessories is where this guy really shines. So first and foremost, he does come with his very own power sword with a orange hilt. So if you remember with the original, with the vintage or the origins faker, all of his armor and his weapons and accessories were orange. So I really do like the fact that they threw in the nod there with that orange hilt. See what kind of grip he gets on it. So the hands are kind of tight. We haven't exactly gotten to those rubberized hands yet, but he does get a very, very nice grip on the sword, which is nice. So maybe in the dark, people actually will believe that this is He-Man. Other accessory he comes with, of course, you can't have a He-Man-esque figure without his shield. So the way I normally do my shields is I take the open splayed hand and put it in the left hand, and I kind of slide it over that. That's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is just by simply sliding this over his other hand, get in the position where it kind of holds in there. Obviously, the fist is not going to be a good hold for it, but the other gripping hand could be good, as well as the splayed hand. So yes, Faker does come with an extra set of hands. You can actually put him with two gripping hands, a gripping and a splayed hand, a slapping hand, and a fist, whichever you decide, whichever you want to do. To go along with the vintage Faker-esque style, he does come with his orange Skeletor armor. So for this, all you simply gotta do is remove the He-Man armor, pop off the head, and then just simply slide over your Skeletor armor. And then the back has two holes and a peg. Sorry about that, it took me a little bit longer than I expected. Anyways, two holes and a peg, slide it on, and there is your vintage Faker. I really do like this. It is molded in a nice shiny orange, so it really, really pops on your shelf. Now, this is where Faker really shines. Because if you remember in the TV show, he didn't always have this face. He originally looked like this. So this Faker comes with an extra head, which is more reminiscent or more of a look-alike of actual He-Man. There is no blue showing underneath. I had to take his armor off to get the head on really good. So anyways, there is no blue shown underneath his face. So he actually does look more like He-Man until you get up close and you see those glowing red eyes. Now, that is not the only head that this Faker comes with. He also comes with a full Terminator head. This is really cool. This is kind of the final form of Faker in the Revelation series, where he had all of his skin removed from his face, and this is kind of what you saw. The head and the underskin, I guess you could say, is all done in that nice shiny blue silver. It looks really nice. Mine is a little tight and really does not want to go on there too well. It's really nice. This way you can actually have 3 different ways for you to show off your Faker. The accessories for this figure are simply amazing. Be able to transform him from fake He-Man to half android to complete android, just incredible. Definitely give accessories for Faker, a 9 out of 10. Display is where Faker really becomes a standout piece. You can display him as the traditional fake He-Man using the standard portrait, or go full robot or half robot. Honestly, the robot portrait completely changes the vibe of the figure. Posed with the power sword, that blue metallic skin, the orange armor just really stands out on a MOTU display. And next to the 40th anniversary He-Man, yes, the sculpt is a little bit different, but it just looks incredible. This figure photographs incredibly well under dramatic lighting, especially with metallic reflections hitting the robotic details. And then when we bring in the Origins Faker, you can see where some of the similarities come through, especially with this orange Skeletor armor. They do look very, very similar. Of course, you have the bat up top here, the flanges off the side, and the bones in the middle. Pair that with, again, with the sword or with the shield. These will look very, very nice right next to each other. But overall, I give Faker a display score of 7.5. This thing has incredible shelf presence. So, is Revelation Faker worth picking up? Absolutely. This figure combines classic MOTU nostalgia with modern articulation, great sculpt work, excellent paint applications, and a fantastic display potential. The robotic portrait alone makes this feel special. If you're a MOTU collector and a Faker fan, or just someone who loves weird, evil robot characters, this figure is easy to recommend. Let's go over the scores. Packaging, we had 9 out of 10. Sculpt and paint, 9 out of 10. Articulation, 9 out of 10. Accessories, 9 out of 10. Display, 9.5 out of 10. For a final score, 9.1 out of 10. One of the best Revelation figures Mattel released up to this point. But what do you think about Revelation Faker? Do you prefer the classic version or the darker robotic design? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications for more Masters of the Universe content right here on MOTU Review. And remember, here, everything is forged in plastic, tested by power. See you next time.